Oh yeah, and now it's time for my second case. A deeper look at Grand Champion Vengeance and his offspring. Let us look into this. Shout out to the person that was in the chat who brought this up for tonight's docket. I can't remember who it was, but shout out to you for bringing this up for tonight's docket. We will look at this from a certain angle, and then we will widen our gauge in our perspective of the analytical and maybe even the political or the social or mindset of dog men during a certain time period, and also too just human beings in general as far as the word expectations. So I got a video I'm about to play, and then after that we will discuss. Like to hear it? Here you go.
For this case, I would like to look at Killer Combine's Grand Champion Vengeance and his offspring. First, we will look at the reason behind such a high standard has been put on his offspring. First thing is, he is the grandson of Jesse Rod's Grand Champion Midnight. Midnight was the sporting dog of the year in 1990. We have already covered a case on Midnight and the mystery surrounding his connection to Mayfield's Pit General, who was stolen years prior. Vengeance won his first in 1 hour and 12 minutes, his second in 28 minutes, his third in 43 minutes, his fourth in 41 minutes, all at 47 pounds, and his last was in 11 minutes in what appears to be at catch weight. Just like his grandfather before him, he also won Dog of the Year, but Vengeance won this honor twice. An incredible accomplishment in itself. Now, as far as his offspring is concerned, he has produced at least 3 champions and 1 grand champion to my knowledge. There could be others unaccounted for in history, but none with his amount of acclaim. Do you look at this as a case where the expectations were placed too high on his offspring? Do you believe that Vengeance was simply not the producer that his father or grandfather was? Or was it something else?
Yeah, so as we listen to the video, we're going to get into what I talked about before the video, and that is to examine a certain angle and aspect of looking at this particular animal, Killer Combine's Grand Champion Vengeance and his offspring. Okay, when I look at this animal, I think when I look back at Grand Champion Midnight and I look at his sire, I look at just looking at some of the bare bone numbers, statistic wise, he pretty much produced around the same ratio that his father and grandfather produced. So it was not a lot of numbers, high numbers in production, but the ones that were winners and that were the title dogs were all the ones that we know about. You know what I'm saying? The Blackfoots and Midnight Jr. and all the others that came down through that lineage. Those are the ones that we know about. And just so happened, either whether it be by circumstance or the hands they were in or whatever the case may be, that those animals were the ones that produced the lineage that continued on, was the winners. I don't actually recall too many of the Grand Champion Midnight strands of dogs that produced just somebody had a dog that was just breeding the absolute balls off of, and he was producing all these different winners. Now, we've seen that in other strands, but for whatever the reason, this particular strand just wasn't pimped out like that, or wasn't used in that magnitude. And then we have to look at what I said. This word called expectations. Yeah, that's right. Expectations. And when a dog does what Vengeance did, naturally, from a human aspect, that will come with expectations. Now, I believe they are false expectations, because if you know the breed and understand animals or just physical beings alike, they usually don't produce what they were, and most times they produce a lesser version of what they were. Now, you have those exceptions where they will produce a better version of themselves. Okay? Now, this version skipped a generation. Vengeance's father was a good dog, but he was nothing like him, and he was nothing like his father, Grand Champion Midnight. So, for a dog to win Dog of the Year in 1990, and then for your grandson to go and win Dog of the Year twice, you know, that says that says a whole lot. But, you know, I just really want to propose these questions that I asked in the video to the Bulldog community. Was it a case where there was too much expectation placed on this animal to where it looks as though, or appears to, quotation, 2-finger quotation in the air, that this was a disappointment in production when it really wasn't? When you really look at what it is, he pretty much did the normal production that his ancestors did. And there could be another vengeance that, you know, that maybe his grandson, just like Midnight's grandson, which is him, became the special one. Then maybe there will be, you know, maybe sometimes it skips a generation, you know. And there was some false expectations placed on these animals. But, or was it rightly deserved, you know, of this? So this is just what I'm proposing to the Bulldog community concerning Grand Champion Vengeance and his offspring. Like I said, there are many of his offspring that are not up on Pets Online for good reason, and also for just the simple fact of, you know, just, you know, and then there's some stuff that people have made up. You know what I'm saying? You can put anything on Pets Online. So some of these dogs may be made up.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
But what do you say pertaining to the word expectations when it comes to these animals and placing so much heavy expectation on the animal to where it appears that they have disappointed, and you were disappointed in their production when all they did the same thing in production that all the other ancestors did, no more, no less? But what do you say? Never mind what I say. What do you say? Leave your comments in the comment section. I love to hear what you have to say when you're in the comments on live. And for the case of a deeper look at Grand Champion Vengeance and his offspring, this case is now dismissed.